What's happening, Saints fans? I wanted to start off today's show with some chat stats for you. It's the offseason, so we wanted to have a little bit of fun, and I did some digging. And I looked into this, and I saw that Mike Evans has only put up 850 yards in 17 games against the New Orleans Saints. So I look at that as he's played an entire season's worth of football against New Orleans, lined up against Marshon Lattimore, lined up against various other cornerbacks, normally Marshon Lattimore, but he hasn't even gotten 1,000 yards against the Saints. And I'm not saying that he's not a great wide receiver. He's had plenty of 1,000-yard seasons, but not against the New Orleans Saints. And it's Latty-Daddy because Marshon Lattimore owns Mike Evans. I am 100% confident that Mike Evans wished Marshon Lattimore a happy Father's Day this past weekend. So if you agree that Marshon Lattimore owns Mike Evans, I need you to hit that thumbs up icon, and let's get this thing started, and let's talk about today's Saints news and rumors. So for today's show, I wanted to kind of dive into some NFLPA articles and some buzz around Chris Olave, as well as the running back duo that the New Orleans Saints have and where they rank amongst the rest of the NFL. But to start things off, the NFLPA released their list of 10 rising stars, which featured Chris Olave. And guys, I couldn't agree more with this list. I think that they actually hit the nail on the head here. Maybe you can make the argument to switch Garrett Wilson and put him down, or Breece Hall somewhere else, Tony Pollard somewhere else. But in terms of the 10 players listed, I agree for the most part. Maybe Jordan Love, not number 10. But, he's in a good opportunity. But as you see, Chris Olave ranks number 6 on this list behind Brock Purdy, Garrett Wilson, Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, and George Pickens. And just to kind of set the scene here, Chris Olave was incredible last season. In only 15 games played, keep in mind, not great quarterback play. It was below average. I mean, I'm not even going as far to say that. It was just extremely average quarterback play. 119 targets, 72 receptions, over 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 14.5 yards per catch. And I find Chris Olave very intriguing going into 2023 because he can pop for so many reasons. He's already a proven 1,000-yard wide receiver. And he did that, like I said, with Andy Dalton, Taysom Hill, and Jameis Winston throwing him the rock. He has elite hands, and he's an elite route runner. He is phenomenal. That is some of his best traits that were coming out of Ohio State, as well as his ball hawking ability. He knows where to find the ball. He knows how to find where the ball is going to be. He can track it down, ball tracking skill, excuse me. He just knows how to get the ball in his hands and how to make plays. He's developing good chemistry with the new quarterback, Derek Carr, which I think is very important for a young wide receiver, especially with a new quarterback. He succeeded with below-average quarterback play, like we said earlier. He was a finalist for Offensive Rookie of the Year, which obviously Garrett Wilson ended up winning. And then for the Pro Football Writers of America, he made their all-rookie team with Garrett Wilson as the other wide receiver. And he has more talent around him this year. So that means there's going to be less attention and I think a little bit less pressure for Chris Olave to be the wide receiver one, because as we remember going into the season last year, Michael Thomas was healthy. Chris Olave eventually had to fill in as wide receiver one because we lost Michael Thomas due to injury. However, this year, even if Michael Thomas does get hurt again or we miss Michael Thomas for an extended period of time, there's so many pass catchers on the roster, so Chris Olave will have even less attention. And he's gained muscle, which is something that he really wanted to do going into this offseason. And he's improved his contested catch ability because he's been able to gain that strength. And he was the most consistent standout from OTAs, minicamp, and Saints offseason activities. And guys, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Chris Olave was worth every ounce it took to get him in New Orleans. To trade up, to draft him, 100% worth it. It was absolutely worth it. I am not at all going to sit here and believe that the Eagles fleeced the Saints on that. Sure, the Saints gave up some extra capital or some extra stuff that they may not have wanted to, but I will sit here and continuously believe the Saints did everything they needed to in order to get their guy which is what Chris Olave was. They wanted him going into the draft. They were going to do everything they could to get him, and I'm very happy that the Saints made that happen. So, guys, show Olave some love, because I'm excited for Chris Olave's sophomore campaign. I think it's going to be a phenomenal season. I think it's going to be very exciting. So hit the thumbs up icon and type 12 in the comment section if you're with me. And also, while you're down there, I just wanted to say a quick thank you, guys. We reached the milestone, 15,000 subscribers. We've officially surpassed it. We are gone. It is over. The sub race is now to 16,000. And I want to get there before preseason week 1 against the Kansas City Chiefs. So let's make it happen. We still got a lot of steam moving. I don't want it to slow down whatsoever. Hit that sub button. It's big. It's red. It's impossible to miss. Turn on your notifications. That way you never miss a thing. So let's talk about some running back stuff. The title says breakout candidate. That's on me. I built the graphic incorrectly. But Bleacher Report, they listed their top running back duos ahead of the 2023 NFL season. And I found their rankings pretty intriguing. And I like what the New Orleans Saints did in the running back position. Because as we know, Alvin Kamara has that suspension in the distance. He could face that time suspended because of the issue that happened in Las Vegas during the Pro Bowl weekend last year. No suspension last season. Feels like it's going to happen this season. Everyone who says he's going to get arrested and never play again, you're wrong. He's going to get suspended 4 to 6 games, and then we're going to move on, and everything's going to be hunky-dory. But as for what the duo rankings were from Bleacher Report, they had Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon at number 1, Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell at number 2, Nick Chubb, Jerome Ford at number 3, Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier at number 4. That's an interesting one. But then at number 5, you see Alvin Kamara and Jamaal Williams. Number 6, Kenneth Walker and the recent draft pick Zach Charbonnet with the Seattle Seahawks. And then at number 7, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery for the Detroit Lions. And that is a completely different running back room that we saw last year in Detroit, which had Jamaal Williams and DeAndre Swift featured. But in terms of honorable mention, you got Baltimore with J.K. Dobbins. You got Philadelphia because they still got Miles Sanders, and he's still, or not Miles Sanders, you still got Boston Scott and DeAndre Swift, and those are talented running backs. Kansas City, Isaiah Pacheco is an intriguing guy, and the Los Angeles Chargers at number 7 as an honorable mention as well with Austin Eckler. So that's the rankings, and I'm going to get into my analysis and the reasoning behind the rankings for Bleacher Report. But guys, this deal, it's almost gone. This is not going to last forever. I checked this morning. The deal is almost done. So if you want this 2-pack t-shirt combo for 40% off, you got to use our link, chatsports.com/Saints combo. That way you can get the deal, you can get your shirts, and you can look fresh on Bourbon Street, on Canal Street, over at Pado's, at wherever you're going. I need you guys to get these 2 t-shirts. That way everyone knows Saints Now from Chat Sports sent you to this link below me. It's also going to be available in the comment section and the description of today's show. So Bleacher Report laid out why they ranked the Saints at number 5. And they said Kamara has always needed a thumper to partner with him who could earn the hard yards between the tackles. Last year, that responsibility was a combination of Taysom Hill and Mark Ingram. The Saints got a major upgrade in Jamaal Williams. The 6-foot, 224-pound Williams is coming off a career year in Detroit. He had over 1,000 yards rushing and 17 tutties. He's going to give more than enough firepower to give them a strong 2-headed monster and should be able to take over if Kamara winds up with a personal conduct suspension following an offseason assault arrest, which happened last offseason. And I've shown this graphic before, but I absolutely love it. So I'm calling the running back room the Holy Trinity because, as we know in Cajun cuisine, the Holy Trinity, green bell peppers, onions, and celery. Here, the Holy Trinity, Alvin Kamara, Jamaal Williams, Kendre Miller. You got the pass-catching ability from Alvin Kamara. You got the between-the-tackles, hard-nosed, downhill running from Jamaal Williams. And he also has pass-catch ability. But then you get a little bit of both in Kendre Miller because he knows how to run downhill. He is hard to tackle. He is dealing with an injury, but he should be ready to go by week 1. That's what I'm at least seeing and hearing. But you can look at these numbers and these stats and just, I mean, it's incredible. It's the numbers speak for themselves. And bear in mind, Alvin Kamara's numbers look bad, but he was on a bad year where Pete Carmichael was not using or doing the correct play calls to use him efficiently and effectively. So I even look at the numbers from Alvin Kamara and be like, he didn't even get used all that well, and he still was able to put up almost 900 yards. That's not bad. And over 1,000 all-purpose. It's just incredible what he was able to do, or what this trio will be able to do this upcoming season based on the performance they had last year. And I'd honestly rank the Saints at number 3, right behind the Packers and the 49ers, because I really do believe that the Cleveland Browns have a good running back duo. They have Nick Chubb. He's one of the best running backs in the league. You can't argue it. He is a phenomenal football player. And if you had him on your fantasy team, he probably helped you win a lot of games. But I will say this, Jerome Ford is a bit unproven. He hasn't done a ton to show that he can be a phenomenal RB2. And I'm not saying that he can't. I just haven't seen a ton of tape on him. I haven't seen enough reps to be like, that is the third best running back duo in the league. Where I say the Saints have that is because you know what Alvin Kamara is. He's a proven 3-down back. You also get that with Jamaal Williams, where he's a proven stud, downhill runner, hard-nosed guy to tackle. He's impossible to tackle, and he's a fun guy in your locker room. I just believe that the Saints have a more experienced and proven running back room. So that's why I would put them at number 3, and that's not at all to take away from Jerome Ford or any of the other running back rooms. I also think that the Falcons being at number 4, it's interesting, but I really have to say, I talk a lot of trash on the Falcons on this channel. I'm not going to lie, I really like that duo. I didn't think that the Falcons needed to go and get Bijan. I figured that they should have used that pick on a guy like Jalen Carter, who was still available at that pick that they had. But that being said, Tyler Algier is really good. Bijan Robinson, he's going to be really good. So I will say this. The Falcons, I like what they did in the running back room, but I'd still rank the Saints a little bit higher just, again, because they're more proven, they have more reps, and you know exactly what you're getting out of those two guys. So before we hop on out here, 2 quick things. First, I need you to subscribe to Chat Sports because the NBA Draft is coming up this weekend, and we will be live. Last year, we had the number 1 coverage across all of YouTube, so be sure to subscribe. Join us in Chat Sports because I've been seeing some buzz that the Pelicans might want to trade up to go get a guy like Scoot Henderson. Zion might be on the move. Scoot might be coming down to the boot. Scoot to the boot. I just realized that's kind of sick. We should put that on a t-shirt or something. Anyway, subscribe and join us for our NBA draft coverage. It's going to be elite. My guy Chase Sr., Harrison Graham, they're going to take care of everything you need. They're going to have some phenomenal coverage. And last thing, where do you rank this Saints running back duo among the rest of the NFL? 32 teams, obviously. Bleacher Report had them at number 5. I personally have them at number 3. But I want you to tell me, where do you have the running back duo in comparison to the rest of the NFL? Y'all stay golden, Who Dat Nation. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.